Apollo Craft Plus Lunar Module Moon Lander enabling astronaut surface excursions. Houston commenced a lunar return required mutual orbiter location, rendezvous and linkage, permitting crew re-entry into the command module for earthbound transit. President Kennedy proclaimed his nation's lunar ambition during 1961. We elect lunar travel this decade, undertaking arduous endeavors precisely for their difficulty. Yet NASA planners lacked concrete mission blueprints for Project Apollo. Contemporary rockets frequently missed orbital targets significantly. Dual-craft lunar orbital linkage seemed implausibly complex. A NASA contingent believed it achievable, catalyzing Project Gemini pre-Apollo initiative, mastering spacewalking and crucially rendezvous. October 1961. Saturn rocket testing commenced. Saturn development initiated pre-NASA specific utilization strategy. Soviet rocket superiority demanded American response. Pre-maiden flight, presidential lunar declaration, earmarked Saturn for Apollo. Despite progress, Apollo execution specifics remained undecided. Early Saturn trials proved remarkably reliable. Plans advanced for larger Saturn V and colossal Nova rockets. Development duration necessitated an interim Project Gemini employing mass-produced Titan missiles. Gemini launch vehicle, Titan II-derived dual-stage booster, toxic hypergolic propellant-suited weapon storage, but posed crude launch hazards. First stage twin combustion chambers fed by distinct turbopumps classified singularly. Second stage solitary vacuum-optimized nozzle, inertial guidance housed herein. Titan II's payload capacity and minimal crew rating adaptation time validated Gemini selection. USAF Gemini interests spawned classified Blue Gemini missions plus manned orbiting laboratory concepts later cancelled, their research absorbed into NASA flights. Concurrently, Mercury program progressed. Single-occupant Mercury capsule preceded Gemini. Gemini resembled Mercury externally, but accommodated dual astronauts with enhanced systems. NASA recognized novel complexities. Gemini featured segregated propellant life support jettisonable modules, orbital modification thrusters, spacewalk-capable hatches, solid-state electronics, and onboard computation. NASA visionaries advocated direct lunar flights via massive Nova or a dual Saturn C3 Earth orbital assembly. Langley Research Center proposed lunar orbit rendezvous, Sol Saturn C5 plus compact lander. Initially dismissed. Lunar orbital rendezvous deemed perilous versus terrestrial attempts. Langley persistence secured Laura Dobson physically sound. Decade achievable. 1962. 9 new astronauts recruited test pilots with engineering and biology degrees. Some would reach lunar, others perish. Gemini introduced advanced extravehicular suits, pressure bladders with link-net restraints superseded Mercury's fabric joints, granting superior mobility. Gemini's rendezvous focus repurposed Aegina as target. Launched via Atlas, NASA addressed Mercury's shortcomings. Oceanic recoveries demanded costly naval fleets globally. Gemini proposed Rogolo Perrowing for land touchdowns. Astronauts endorsed it. 1962 tests employed tricycle frames beneath linen wings. Inflatable versions followed. Control improved but deployment unreliability reinstated oceanic recovery. Mercury escape rockets were replaced by Gemini ejector seats massivine, yet designer Chamberlain noted Titan hypergolic detonation slower than Atlas kerosene. Oxygen-nitrogen charge dummy tests preceded usage. April 1964. Unmanned Gemini 1 pre-orbital instrumentation relay. Despite 24-hour battery limit, mission-validated tightened human rating modifications. Non-recoverable, heat shield perforated ensuring atmospheric incineration. Gemini to suborbital. Atlantic recovery post-re-entry validated spacecraft. Gus Grissom commanded first crewed Gemini 3 with rookie John Young. Final Cape Kennedy Air Force Station controlled mission. Third orbit. Wide egress communications relayed via Mactivit. Handheld maneuvering device employed. No defined tasks beyond suit validation. Ground concerned. Re-entry ordered pre-Earth. White, reluctant. Feeling phenomenal. Hatch resealing difficulty. 5-minute struggle. Mission thruster. Computer faults. Off targets. Success declared. Hardware refinements prioritized. Mercury veteran Gordon Cooper commanded Gemini 5-7+ days endurance, symbolized by a Conestoga wagon. Hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells enabled duration. Rendezvous evaluation pod substituted. Crew trained photographing ground patterns via C-130 flights. Scrubbed launch. August 19, 1965 success. Orbit adjusted. Pod released. Fuel cell oxygen pressure anomaly prompted electrical shutdown. Mission jeopardy. Faulty heater identified later. Pod battery expiration cancelled. Rendezvous. Buzz Aldrin devised virtual rendezvous successful. Thruster failures. Frozen propellant lines. Gemini 5 surpassed Pekovsky's record. Tropical storm avoidance prompted early duration record set amidst persistent issues. Atlas Agena target readiness. Wally Schirra and Tom Stafford. Agena loans preceded Gemini by 2.5 hours. Quadruple docking planned during approximately 46-hour mission. Crew boarding. Atlas Agena countdown liftoff perfect. Telemetry loss Agena failure. Gemini 6 cancelled. Redesignated Gemini 6 are postponed until post-Gemini 7 launch for mutual rendezvous. Frank Borman, Jim Lovell trained lightweight G4C suits for Gemini 7's 14-day systems. Human endurance test. Gemini 6A Titan erected during Gemini 7 mission. December 12th. Gemini 6, a second launch attempt engine shutdown. Third attempt. Success. Precise maneuvers achieved dual capsule proximity less than 6 hours later globally televised. Gemini 6A. Gemini 7 continued thruster fuel cell degradation necessitated battery reliance. Crew weakened but recovered post-fifth crewed flight. 1 spacewalk, 1 rendezvous hardware reliability lingering. All remaining Gemini missions emphasized docking, simulator training and contingency planning increased. Deke Slayton managed crew selection backup rotation standard. Backup crews participated pre-launch. Group photos included them. Gemini 8, Neil Armstrong, Dave Scott. Backups, Pete Conrad, Dick Gordon. Gemini 9, Elliot C., Charles Bassett. Backups, Tom Stafford, Gene. Training required T-38 flights between NASA contractor sites. Early 1966, 2 T-38s, S en route McDonald. Clancy Bassett perished, impacting building. Stafford Cernan became prime crew schedule, unaffected. Agena failure prompted Lockheed modifications. Oxidizer pre-fuel flow. McDonald proposed Atlas launchable docking collar as contingency. Gemini 8 rehearsed dual levers. Scott tested emergency pack umbilical zip gun maneuvering unit. Cumbersome 300+ 0G parabolas trained. March 1966. Gemini 8 final prep. Armstrong Scott's maiden flight. 3-day mission. Dual cape launches bleachers erected for spectators. Administrator Webb cultivated public support. Crew boarding at Atlas Agena. Countdown liftoff perfect. 300 kilometers near circular orbit achieved. Gemini 8 launched. Lower, faster orbit initiated chase. 6 hours. Agena station keeping docking accomplished. Mission control jubilation. Agena attitude control suspicion prompted undocking warning of anomalies. Docked complex entered Ural spin. Separation worsened rotation thruster number 8 stuck. Vision impairment risk. Armstrong engaged re-entry thruster. Rules mandated immediate return Pacific splashdown versus Atlantic target. Armstrong disappointed. Mission curtailed.com crisis response noted. Pre-Gemini 9 astronaut maneuvering units revealed. Ground tests poorly simulated weight. Stafford Cernan objectives. Rendezvous docking EVA AMIA usage. May 17, 1966 Atlas Agena launch short circuit destroyed vehicle post disappearance. Plan B. Software delay. Subsequent Gemini 9 launch successful. Rendezvous revealed unjettisoned. ATDA shrewd docking impossible. Contractor dispute caused installation error. Spacewalk AMU attempt. Cernan fatigued rapidly. Visor fogging aborted exercise. MU cancel. EVA difficulties revolutionized Apollo suit design. Water-cooled inner layer added. Gemini continued G4C suits. Gemini 10's Michael Collins vacuum-tested suit inflation. Air cushion rigs remained primary EVA simulation. Agena Titan dual Longjung Collins rendezvoused fourth orbit. Orbital misalignment consumed excess fuel. Docking achieved. Agena engine boosted orbit. Collins stand-up EVA. Southern Milky Way photographed. Contaminant caused irritation EVA terminated. Descent to dormant Gemini 8. Second EVA attempted thruster fuel low curtailed activity. Gemini 11's Dick Gordon encountered similar EVA fatigue. Positioning struggles. Gemini mastered computerized re-entry. Final mission unresolved. Effective vacuum EVA methodology. Solutions underwater training. Added handholds restraints. Workstation with foot anchors enabled tool use. Sans positional struggle. Buzz Aldrin, Jim Lovell, Gemini 12 most complexy finale. Final complex 19 blockhouse launch. Lovell presented Pat Chief with redundancy check. Orbital radar issues forced sextant paper chart rendezvous. Aldrin utilized slide rule. Validated basic rendezvous techniques. Docking succeeded. Multiple approach rehearsals. Agena altitude boosts cancelled. Reinstated solar eclipse photography at second window captured. Demonstrated adaptive mission control crew. EVA prep compressed. Hatch opened stand-up EVA. Methodical movements. 2 orbits completed. Subsystem concerns monitored. Next day, full egress to Ageni Scuba. Underwater training synergy with enhanced restraints revolutionized EVA. Tether installed between craft. 2 HO6M successful external work. Controllers elated. Tethered. Station keeping. Artificial gravity spin tests conducted. 4-day mission. Computer-controlled re-entry Atlantic splashdown near USS Wasp. Program completion celebrated. Lunar maneuver confidence achieved. Music Academy's deadline met. Gemini's legacy underappreciated. ISS missions employ Gemini pioneered rendezvous. Forthcoming Mars sample return necessitates Martian orbital rendezvous. Gemini heritage music. ISS maintenance spacewalks utilize Gemini-honed expertise. Houston, Moscow neutral buoyancy pool.